Mondays through Fridays, 3:30 to 4:30 p.m. in the newsroom. You can't afford to miss it.
Afford to miss it. You are welcome to today's edition of this program, The Newsroom. The people of Owo, Ondo State, their governor, Arakunrin Rotimi Akeredolu. The Catholic family within and outside the country will not forget in a hurry the massacre of yet to be confirmed figure of worshippers at St. Francis Catholic Church, Owo, by terrorists. I would say terrorists. Anybody or any set of people that could have carried out that kind of dastardly act will not be better described than terrorists. Few hours to the presidential primary of the ruling All Progressive Congress (APC), the identity of President Muhammadu Buhari's preferred successor is still shrouded in secrecy and expectedly causing tension among the aspirants and other major stakeholders. The Independent National Electoral Commission (INEC) has disclosed that the ballot papers for the 2023 elections will be printed locally because it has more than 180 days before the 2023 general elections in line with the Electoral Act. You are welcome once again. These are the issues we are taking a look at on today's edition of this program. My name is Abiodun Olalere and the team is set. Let me start by welcoming Mulita Nagola. You are welcome.
Thank you for having me. Good evening, Nigerians, wherever you may be.
How the Adebe is also in the house. You are welcome.
Thank you, Abiodun. Good evening, viewers.
Now, Saki, I know that naturally you will feel bad about what happened in the war yesterday. But beyond that, what do you think will have been responsible for this?
Thank you very much. I think you should first commiserate with the relatives of those victims of that despicable attack and other people of Ondo State and generally the Yoruba nation. It was very unfortunate. And as Arakunrin Akeredolu said, it was a black Sunday, not only for people of Owo or Ondo, but the Yoruba nation. It goes to tell us that the Southwest is no longer safe. About a week or two ago, the report went viral telling the Yoruba nation that our area has been infiltrated by these Fulanis, that our forests have been invaded. And they cited some particular areas with the Lagos-Ibadan expressway axis as one of the areas. And that these people are just waiting for the signal to strike. So what happened in Owo yesterday goes to show that that report was not fake news. It's something that is becoming real. And you see, when you look at our environment, I'm talking of the Southwest, you notice easily the influx of these foreigners. I call them foreigners because, like Akeredolu said, he said those who attacked the Catholic Church were Malians trained in Libya. How he got that information, I don't know. But I want to believe that even if they are Fulanis, in our area we consider them as foreigners. It's a wake-up call for us that as a nation, as Yoruba nation, you must be more alert, more vigilant than before.
Okay, sir. If you look at this, is about the first time that this region the Southwest will be expressing this kind of gruesome murder of so many people at the same time, including children, and more than 24 hours now. Nothing concrete, apart from what Saki said, the governor said, from security operatives, as security agencies. We have not had anything to show that some people somewhere are doing something.
Thank you once again for having me. But the president has expressed his condolence. Virtually all top people in government have said it. The security are on top of the situation. So I don't know what else you expect them to do. Now, it has been the normal occurrence. When anything happens like that, look, in the next 24 or 48 hours, it's only the people that are directly involved that will remember what has happened to them. That is the country we find ourselves. Now, this is not the first time, but let me allude to what the captain said. There is information in the public space that our forest has been infiltrated. In Oyo, it is the Ariona Kakanfo, Are Ganiada, that said that Okeogun in Oyo has been infiltrated. Now, so many other. But what are we doing as a people? We seem to be helpless. Now, the reason, the cause for this one, nobody knows. Speculators are saying that maybe it has to do with the fact that some people don't want the 2023 election to hold. I don't know. If it does, if they don't want it to hold, so should it be the people in the South? We used to believe before now that Southwest is the safest part of the country. But the way things are going now, don't forget that it is the same Ondo State where the daughter of the fashionable, where is the case today?
So some people were arrested.
Fine, have they been prosecuted?
Yeah.
They are being prosecuted.
They are being prosecuted.
So, and that is one. It is also in Ondo State that a traditional ruler, the Olu of Ifon, I don't know the title, was killed.
It is the same axis.
It's the same axis.
So,
very good. So, what are we doing as a people? Are we so helpless that we can't do anything? Now, the Amatekun, what's the role Amatekun is playing? Because when the chips are down, people that become the victims are the real people that feel the pinch. So I think that something by now should have been done. The government will always, the security people will always tell you they are on top of the situation, they are on top of the situation. But we need to do more. Now, are we saying that there was no intelligence report to indicate that something of this massive nature will take place? Now, according to foreign news agencies, Reuters and I think Voice of America, they claim it's 50. I listened to a radio program this morning.
Over 100.
Over 100. You understand? So there are so many figures. Even if it is one, even if it is two, and must we continue to lose our lives? Yet security people are there. So we now expect the government. Now the government, I'm not referring to the federal government. I'm referring to the Western Regional Government, Western Nigeria Security Agency. That's the Amatekun. They should now sit down, recalibrate, and then find something meaningful to do. Because, okay, even in Osun here, if you are going to Ilesha now, when you get to Idominasi, these people who are doing mining, I don't know whether legal or illegal, whatever it is, you see, these people are there. And only God knows what these people can do. There's nothing to check anybody. Anybody does whatever he wants. There's no profiling, there's nothing. You just wake up and you see trailer bringing people. We are in Nigeria, at least today, we are all Nigerians. But what we are saying is that government, particularly our government in the Southwest, must do more. We cannot say they should restrain people from coming. But people that come here, are they registered? Under whose authority? Are they operating and things like that? We should try to check this because what happened in the north and is happening in the east, if you are not very careful, will also befall us in the southwest.
Yes, I had a friend who is based in Canada. He came around about 2 weeks ago, and while we were together, he received a message on his mobile phone. And, read it. At a stage, he was very hopeful that we had, and it was a security advice informing him he is in Nigeria, not a Canadian citizen, but based there legally. He was advised to be careful of where he will travel to Nigeria. And that message indicated that it is only the southwest that is safe in Nigeria. Now we are having this. Saki, we have seen condemnation, and that has always been the case, right from Mr. President to various governors, VIPs in Nigeria, even from security agencies. But is that nowhere to end?
Well, we hope it does not end that way. But going by experience, it is likely it ends that way. The only message from the police as at this morning was the one credited to the PRO of Ondo State. They said they have instituted forensic investigation, and it sounded strange to me. Investigate, that is forensic. I mean, I don't know what that means. Maybe it's a security language, but that's what has come out from the police. There is no indication that anybody has been arrested, but we have it from unofficial source that one of the attackers was arrested.
It has been denied.
It has been denied. Okay. So up till now, we have not heard anything by way of information from the security agencies. And Amateku in Ondo State have been doing a wonderful job. In fairness, within the confines of their limitation, they have been doing a wonderful job. They have succeeded in rescuing kidnapped victims. They have succeeded in arresting kidnappers. So they are doing a wonderful job. But this one must have caught them unawares. And it also goes to show the level of our intelligence gathering in this area. I mean, on a Sunday, church service, nobody would expect that kind of thing to happen. Although it has happened in the north in the past. It used to happen in the north, But in south here, this is the first time you experience this kind of thing. So it's as I said, it's a wake-up call for us in the southwest that we are no longer safe.
Okay, I don't know if you are familiar with, if you have been to Owo before. The church is in the heart of the town, and just a walking distance to the palace of Olowo. And you know that the Oba's palace is always in the heart of the town too. So that area, to a large extent, is densely populated. And people just walked in, committed that havoc, and left like that. And some people believe that the Yoruba people are conscious of so many things, including their own security, perhaps because of our education. But this time around, as Aki said, we were caught unawares.
Yes. You see, we have to be proactive. We need to up our ante, and we need to do more than we are doing. I personally believe that, you see, we have left everything to the government. Every time we talk government. And the experience has shown that the government is limited. Now, if you have cause to go to many police stations and you report maybe a case of robbery or anything, particularly in the night, sometimes you have a case of no vehicle is available. Sometimes fuel is not available. All these things happen. That is at the corporate level. But what I'm saying is that, you see, individuals, the case we are talking about, the church, that Catholic church, is in the heart of the town, very close to the palace. Ordinarily, for these two reasons, that it is inside the town and very close to the palace, one would have gone to sleep that, okay, security is guaranteed. Now, even the churches and the mosques too, it tells us that now we have to do more than what we have been doing before. Now, because like one security expert was talking about this morning, he said AK-47, you cannot just fold it like that before you start to use it. You don't know what that, because information have that they use IED, and then some guns. But whatever it is, we need to be more proactive. We need to be more conscious. In those days, we believe that anybody you see is around. But this time around, in our communities, let's start from our communities, the towns, traditional rulers, community development association, and I think the government should even come in. Vigilante, this thing should be established in the areas, even if it means people committing some little funds to help the running of this place, either in the daytime or at night. I know most communities do it. My community we were doing that. We pay the security agent. So we have to be more conscious and then believe that security is the duty of everybody, not only government. For now, we have thrown everything into the doorsteps of government, which is not good enough. Let us as individuals too, wherever we are, try to be security conscious. Now we should suspect every other movement, people we are not very familiar with in our neighborhood. So maybe with that, it will be these things, these dastardly acts will break to the barest minimum. So the government has to do its own part, and the intelligence gathering, I don't know.
Okay, I'll stick up Sakib. Lagos State government is now at loggerheads with Okada riders in that state. In fact, we learned that some of them have even taken that state government to court over ban on from flying some roads. And Lagos State government insisted that it acted on security reports. Don't you think the other Yoruba states should take a clue from that?
Well, I think it should go beyond even Yoruba states. It should be a national issue. I continue to tell people that whoever introduced Okada, who initiated Okada as a means of public transportation, is the enemy of humanity. Because Okada, the way it is built, the way it is constructed, is not supposed to be used for commercial purpose. But somebody somewhere just decided to experiment it, and it became a passion. I once owned Okada. I mean, a motorcycle. That's what you call it. Okay. I once owned it officially. I took loan from my employer to buy it. That was in 1975. You know, I bought one, and it was a kind of, you see, I never expected that Okada would be used for public transportation, but it has come to stay. So the initiative taken by Lagos should go beyond Lagos. You know the kind of havoc these Okada people commit, either direct or indirectly. Robbers engage them. Some of them themselves, they are robbers. Not only robbers. They are robbers. It is very easy to use Okada to commit any kind of criminality. You just zoom up and off you go. So I continue to salute the courage of the governor of Lagos State, and I want to believe that within the next few 1, 2, 3, 4 years, I think that initiative should go round. If that is done, the rate of criminality will be reduced.
And even somebody said this Okada business as a means of transportation, public transportation, started in the north. But as a result of insurgency and what have you in that part of the country, it has been banned totally. You can't get Okada in Maiduguri. You can't get it in most parts of the north, even Kano. But everybody is coming to the southwest.
And because it's a fertile ground, this thing is open, people will come. M5 too did it when he was a FCT minister.
Yes, it has been banned
in Abuja too. And so, look, I totally support. But you see, they were using voting as okay, if you ban it, people will not vote. But look, these people commit a lot of crime. I watched, there was a video on the social media some time ago where these people will take a gun and then wrapped it under the cover, this seat cover of the. You begin to wonder. Sometimes ladies will be going those who hang back, they will just tear it off they go, snatch it off they go. So they are committing a lot of crime. But you see, we always rationalize, oh, there is no job. If you take this job from them, how do we expect them to feed the family? The good thing they are doing, as they arrest them now, as they confiscate this thing, they go and smash it. They crush it. So I think we need to reason above this petty level, this sentiment level. Oh, people job and things like that. Yeah, the government is not doing enough, fine. And incidentally, you know, most of these our big people in politics, that's what they do, empowerment, and that's what they give out. No, it shouldn't be. It shouldn't be. So the step taken by Lagos state government is very good. Let it be replicated in other places. Because sometimes even when you call some of these Okadas, you discover that these people are certainly not from this country. They are from outside. And they are all moving. They are all moving down because it's becoming too hot for them in the north. So the only place they have is Lagos and some neighboring states. So that's why we have to do more. The government has to do more. The people too have to do. Unfortunately, the local system government has collapsed entirely. Otherwise, I would have suggested that the local government should look at each ward. And then each ward must establish community development association where they will tutor them, they will encourage them, they will do seminars for them, how to handle security situation. Because if people's lives are not secure, then what are we talking about? What are the goodies government is? Government is all about the protection of life and property, then the welfare of the citizens. So if people are being killed the way they are being killed today, and the government at the federal level seems helpless. The other time, Erufai was saying, but these people are not spirit now. They have intelligence report of where they are. Yet nothing will do.
Nobody is interested in
doing anything.
And you say there will be influx of these Okada people from Lagos to
neighboring states. Yes.
Oshun and this Yoruba.
Yes.
And I don't think our governors are conscious of the dangers involved in this mass exodus of these Okada operators from Lagos to this state in the southwest.
Some people are also saying that they should be limited. If you register as Okada operator, let's say in Okebale here, you have no business going to Okefia, so that the people in that vicinity will know you.
Yes.
Your co-Okada operator will identify you. So if that could also be done, because you talked about job opportunities a while ago, it may not be so easy for those who survive
on Okada. But even in Osun, this Oyetola's government tried to register them. But again, I don't know where that it was mired in controversy. They said they took money from them, they didn't register. Then the government said it was given to a consultant and things like that. But I think that's the first step. If you are operating in Okebale, the rule is that anybody, if you get to Okebale, you must use Okebale Okada. Then when you get to what do you call it? Maybe Otefu.
Who enforces that?
And that's another thing. But again, it should be the duty of the local government. I believe it should be the duty. It might be difficult.
All of governments.
But the government it can't be the state government.
It's a good idea, but the enforcement is
another thing. Yes, but we can start from somewhere.
Okay, we move to the second topic now. The information reaching us indicates that members of the ruling All Progressive Congress APC, the major stakeholders, not all members, delegates, are trooping to the Federal Capital Territory, Abuja, where the presidential primary of that party will take place tomorrow. Today is arrival. But one issue that is of concern to many people is this allow me to anoint or appoint my successor. And some people also saying election must hold. How do you react to that?
You see, there are three ways by which the candidate will emerge. Is either consensus, indirect, or direct. In the case, if you look at the past precedent, that is when the National Convention to elect the national officers of the party, it was through consensus. And consensus under the Electoral Act says that anybody that will be picked, it must be agreed by all the members involved, all the aspirants.
I must do that in writing.
In writing. I don't think that in the case of the national chairman, that was done. But you see, that's the party affair. Now, in the case of this one, maybe they can be whipped into the line. And you see, there's even a condition that was given president to be taking the form, expression of interest form and the nomination form, that whatever decision that is taken by the party must be abided by all, and that you can't take the party to court. Now, if you have this caveat, then it then means that whatever decision that the government and the party will take will be abided by all. But you see, I think the president and the party left it too late. Now, ordinarily, by now, this convention should have taken place and the candidate must have been known. If INEC had not considered to extend the time, this timetable, INEC brought it out. In fact, in fairness to Jiga, in terms of the timetable, they've done a good job. Oh, sorry, Mahmoud, thank you. This timetable was out since last year. So that gave a long time for any party that was planning for any convention or anything to do that. Now, where we are now, we have, it seems there's going to be election. Whether it will really come or not, I think it is till tomorrow that we will know. But if it is going to be election, then since the statutory delegates are no longer there, it means the ad hoc or the, the elected delegates that are going to vote, we hope they are all there. But if it goes to consensus, the consensus, then you see there are so many information and misinformation going out there. Initially, the chairman of the screening panel said some people have been disqualified, that 10, later we got to know, and that 13 have been cleared. Later we got to know that no, nobody was disqualified. They all have the right to contest. That is one. Secondly, there's this information in the public space again, where the governors, some northern governors, 11 of them, that signed.
That's where I'm going. Okay. Saki, some governors had insisted that power should shift to the south. And as he said, 11 of them signed. We have also had some dissenting voices elsewhere saying, no, I must contest. I'm not, that agreement is not binding on me. Where do you think this endorsement by these some northern governors will lead us to?
Well, I think the endorsement is not total, because there are some of the governors who did not participate in that consensus communique, and so which makes it unimplementable, as to say. You see, at the end of the day, even if it's going to be consensus or not consensus, I want to say emphatically that the wish of the president will prevail. Even if they are asked to go to vote, the president's will prevail. His candidate will be voted for.
Will emerge.
Yeah, will emerge. So it's just a matter of playing on words. Consensus, no consensus. You see, when the 11 governors, the northern governors who came up with that communique, the communique reflected the mood of the moment, that the president should come from the south. That is the mood of the general mood of the moment. Of course, there are some pressure groups here and there. Some youth came together yesterday or this morning to call the block of the governors that they are being selfish, they are being self-centered. But that is the mood of the moment. And as I said, whether they go by way of direct, as Mori said, indirect or consensus, it is the candidate of the president that will emerge. Listen to what Professor Zuma told Amici when he carried his campaign to Borno about two years ago. Zuma told Amici that, look, irrespective of competence of APC presidential aspirants and the strength of their manifesto, the anointed candidate of the president will most likely fly the party's flag in 2023 presidential election. Then secondly, he said, Borno delegates have no preferred aspirant at the moment, but the delegates will vote for a credible aspirant based on the preference of the president and their conviction. Borno delegates will vote based on their conscience, but again, our leader, President Buhari, is very important in this political equation. We are still waiting for him to tell us what to do, and we will follow him. So, and that is the setting. It is the setting.
The message is clear.
It is clear. It is clear. Going by the way he has been getting his way, look at the way he manipulated the national chairmanship the last minute, you know. Many of them showed interest in the chairmanship position, but just by way of shot, we got Adamu Abdulkadir, what is his name? Abdullahi. So it's a similar thing that will matter.
Now, though Mr. President had once said that they should allow him to pick resources, but he has also said the ACN faction that merged with others to form APC should produce the next president. We have had that, and we have not had any denial about that, which force stakeholders in the Southwest to meet, according to Mr. President, that they should pick a consensus among them. We learned that Southwestern governors met over the weekend who are still unable to agree on the particular person. So, judging from what Zulu said, and what the President initially said, that he should allow it to put himself, and this latest move, do you see any similarity?
No. You see, what Zulum said and what the president said, I believe more in that than whatever the president has said that Southwest ACN. I think just to make them have a false sense of belonging. In the first instance, it is not possible. Well, don't let me say it's very difficult, if not impossible, for all the aspirants in the Southwest to sit down together and agree that one of them should carry the flag. It's very difficult, my brother. Don't let us forget. And don't forget, the crisis had been created ab initio. All the people that went to him, they told him, Mr. President, we are interested, go ahead. You are interested, go ahead. Look, when you compare that to when Obasanjo was exercising power, by 2007, Obasanjo knew he was leaving. And he was interested in the person that succeeded him. And he had a dossier, he had a report, intelligence report on all the governors. And he got 2 out of them. The 2 were Bababisi Akande.
So you expected him to...
No, I'm not saying, the style must be different.
Okay. I'm
not saying it should be the same time. I'm only saying what happened then.
Okay.
So in this case, the president has come out. Allow me to choose my successor. You walk through the governors, you know, these are candidates who work for me. It's as simple as that. He might not come out to say, okay, candidate A, but on the ground, you use them. Okay, now he said you should allow them to choose, appoint the successor. He has not come out. He's still telling the governors have met, they have not been able to come out with any conclusion. Even the ACN that he said they should produce, ACN too has not brought out any kind. So what will happen ultimately? Ultimately,
it will pick.
It will pick.
It will pick for them.
It will pick. That is what will happen. Naturally, that's what will happen. So why then keep everything waiting till that 11th hour? People have as well.
You said a while ago, different people, different character, different approach. Saki, the favorite. Who do you think will be the favorite? Some people are mentioning Rotimi Amici, Obunaya Hono, Yemi Oshibayo, and the Make and White Global.
Did you mention Lawan?
No, I did not.
Okay.
I mean,
all these people are from the south.
South. Yes.
Okay, south.
It's a difficult question, but if I'm to hazard
Yes.
and I'm very poor in doing that, it is something keeps telling me that it's likely to be Professor Shibaju. And at the end of the day, the vice is likely to be Lawan. I may be wrong, but that is what something keeps telling me. You see, it is not out of place for a person leaving office to show interest in who succeeds him. You know, I've said it on this platform, that the lesson I learned from my late KBC is that whenever you want to leave office, show interest in who succeeds you. But the manner of interest, the manner of showing interest should be diplomatic, should be civil. Not saying that, look, this is the person, and that is what the president is doing. He has not come out, but he will make some underground moves to get his candidate through. So, sincerely, I don't see anything wrong in him having interest in who succeeds him. It is normal. It is normal. But how he is approaching it may not be all that diplomatic. But before now, he should have come out and give some indications as to, so that it will send a direct message to those involved in the race that, okay, this is our gas, so we should be able to play it safe so as not to yes.
Yes, some people, just as Sake said, governors also determine those who
succeed.
No, not only those who succeed them, even the House of Assembly, the Senate, the Rep, and what have you. But before now, some people, and I'm sure on this program too, we always refer to Mr. Governors and Mr. President's advisors, that perhaps he was not being properly guided. Finally, when some issues come out, listen to people saying, the advisor. And because of that, some people look at him as somebody who is not so sharp, with due respect to him. With what we are seeing, the game is playing now. Do you still think the man doesn't know what he's doing? No,
you see, when it comes to politics, when it comes to power game, when it comes to increase, shenanigans, sort of in politics, Hausa people know how to play, particularly you will not talk. But you get certain things done. Whereas, you see, sometimes they believe or they know our style. Oh, we go to the marketplace, shout at the top of our rooftop and things like that, say anything. But they will sit down and then do the calculation. They will do the permutation. They will allow you to talk. You expose yourself, then I identify your weaknesses and then use it against you. With due respect to me, for somebody who has been head of state before, it means occupying that office is not strange to me. Now, to have been the head of state before means that he understands certain things that goes on. The fact that he does not talk, his approach may not be accepted by a majority, but that's what he does. At the end of the day, he gets his will done. Look, even before he came in 2015, there were a lot of mystery stories about him. Oh, he's so poor that he cannot afford the nomination form people contributed to him. Oh, he's so poor that children... It was only when he got into power that we got to know that his children were schooling abroad and things like that. So what I'm saying is that sometimes the president may appear to people like somebody who is... So
appearance is not reality. His appearance is not the reality.
I don't think so. With what we have seen so far, he
knows what he's doing.
He knows what he's doing. You can't underrate him. If you do so, you do so at your own peril.
And he's playing everybody now.
Yes. And you see, the boss talks on his
including you, because you are guessing. So I want you to guess now. Who do you think he will annoy? Because I've asked our kids the same question.
Well, you see, in the South, honestly, people have talked about the vice president. He may. I think if you look at it, the vice president has served him diligently. I mean, people have even have cause to ask that, why? the vice president ought to take some certain, but he knows where the buck stops. He knows that the man that is in charge is the president and nobody else. Now, so in the South, well, let me also go along with my organ, the vice president. But something within me keeps telling me that ultimately they may want to justify the reason why they want to get somebody from the north, that it is somebody from the north that can face Atiku Square. So if it comes from the north, I wouldn't be surprised.
Okay, we keep guessing. And that's what we know how to do.
Yes.
We are not in any way practically involved. And those that are even practically involved are not also sure of what will happen.
Yes.
So we hope by this time tomorrow, things will get clearer and we have idea of who the candidate, presidential candidate of the All Progressive Congress, APC, will be. Now we'll move to the final topic now, the third one. Sake, INEC is saying it will now print the ballot papers for next year's all the elections in Nigeria locally. Were you surprised that even before now, the materials were being printed overseas?
I know that has been the practice, so there's nothing surprising about it.
No, was it good enough?
It wasn't. It did not. It has never been good for our image. Being referred to as a giant
Of Africa.
Giant of Africa.
Giant of Africa.
But I say it's giant in Africa. I don't want to use the word of. It's giant in Africa.
Okay.
Whatever. All the same, we are still giant somewhere. For us to continue printing our ballot papers outside this country. So I think it's a pleasant development. It's a pleasant development. They used to print our currency outside, but for some years now, we have been using the mint, the Nigerian
Security Printing
Security
and Minting
Minting.
Company.
That company has been printing our currency, and nothing bad has happened. So for INEC to have now decided to print ballot papers in the country, it's a pleasant development, and all we need to do is the security of it. I think it's because of security that those who decided to print it outside, they must have thought about security and not getting it out before the election day proper. But with this development, I think it is good for our image, but I think necessary security measures will be put in place so that it won't become like what one will be seeing with the Google sellers and whatnot. It's a good development.
Mr. Lagola, this new move must be in tune with the new electoral act, because the INEC chairman said it now has more than 180 days. Can you explain on this?
They have 6 months. So within that 6 months, it can be printed and everything done.
At least 6 months that we will know the political parties that will be presenting candidates.
Yes, yes. And even in addition to what the captain said, printing it outside means we are outsourcing jobs for people out there. We are helping to sustain jobs outside where they are printing it, and then we are denying our own people jobs to do. See, there are certain things we by now as a country, if there's proper planning, that even if not for, they should have started, and you start something, well, in the next 2-3 years, there should be another development. But because outsourcing it to help some people, so that's why we are continually done so. But now, they have time, 6 months, it's 180 days, 6 months is enough period for them to do whatever they want to do. That's a very good development, and I support it. The Nigerians will be engaged in print. Before, even up to now, we are still printing these exam papers and other things in Nigeria, so it can be done.
So you are not entertaining any fear?
No, I'm not. You see, the fears is that leakage. That's whatever it is. I think with proper security, we cannot, because of that, continue to outsource these jobs and other things to outsiders. It is that fear. The fear is a killing instinct. It will not allow you to do what you do. Let us do it. If something goes wrong, we improve upon it. That's how it is done. But if we continue giving excuses, you discover that you will not grow. You still be in the same place. We are about 23 years of uninterrupted government. By next year, we'll be having 24. PDP did 16 years. This government has done 8 years, 24 years. By now, if you are printing locally, I don't see anything wrong with it.
So it's a good development.
Oh, it is.
Okay, Saki, INEC is also saying it will no longer keep sensitive electoral materials with the CBN.
Yeah, it's a good development because the man at the helm of affairs of CBN has eroded the integrity of central bank. I mean, the Nepali, not the Nepali. You see, for him to have come out openly as a card-carrying member of a political party, electoral materials are no longer safe in an agency where he superintends. And so INEC has taken a proper decision. And I think the man by now should have seen that he has destroyed part of the integrity of central bank. No, because for INEC to have decided to keep its materials there, it means it has confidence in that agency. But because of a single individual, because of the misbehavior of a single individual, you have never had this kind of thing with the past CBN governors. You have never had it. I have grown to know the likes of Vincent, Ola Vincent, Shiroma, who later became politician. But when he was there, he was not a politician. You had Sanusi, you have Soludo.
The former governor of Akwa Ibom, Cross River, then I've forgotten his name. Was also central bank.
You have had a lot of them. They did not denigrate the integrity of CBN as this man has done. So it's a good decision for INEC to have decided not to keep its sensitive materials in CBN. It's a good decision.
And do you think these sensitive materials should be saved at INEC offices?
Well, if the agency has started to keep it in its office, it will go ahead to provide adequate security to make it safe, because it's a major responsibility. Even because of security at CBN that has made it to have decided to put it the materials there. So if CBN could provide that security, INEC should be able to provide similar security for these sensitive materials.
Are you not also entertaining any fear about the safety of this material?
No, I do. But you see, we have to start from somewhere. And the action of Emefiele should not go unpunished. How can an individual, just one person, you know what it means for INEC to make another arrangement? That is the fears we are entertaining now. Or we used to believe that, okay, if it is in central bank, it is safe and is well guarded. But INEC office, we believe that they do not have the adequate security, even though they are going to provide. And if they are going to do it, it will come with a cost. So why should an individual put us in such a fix? And that's why I believe that it should come with a, even if the government is not going to sack him, it should be made to suffer some sanctions to tell him that next time people will learn the lesson from. Because if it goes like that without any sanction, somebody else too can wake up tomorrow and decide to act in a funny way, which will not be helpful to the state. You see, we should try to build up institutions like Obama said. But here, how can an individual, you are a card-carrying member, when you knew you were going to contest, the honorable thing for him to have done is resign. I mean, nobody is denying you of your fundamental human right to vote and to be voted for. But you can't be in a certain position and then want to take advantage, undue advantage of the situation. So because of just one person, you know the alternative argument that we make. If we are talking about Oshu, for example, if the sensitive material is kept at the central bank now, we feel safe that nothing will happen. But now we don't know the arrangement they are going to make. So that's why it should come with sanctions.
Even if sensitive materials are kept in Osun CBN, the man at the head, wherever he may be it in London or China, he still has control.
Control, yes.
On the staff. Look, go and do this in this board. Go here. He still has that control. So it's not as if at state level it is safer. It is not safer. As long as this Emefiele man is there, it is not safe. It is not safe.
Okay, we'll end that topic there. But I want us to go back to this massacre again. I still believe we left one thing. We talked about government, we talked about people. What about these churches and mosques? Most of them, not all, are rich enough to provide CCTV cameras and some other logistics that can make things better for them. In 1 minute.
Yes, the churches and the mosques should be able to provide. It's even government too, but particularly now that we are having these experiences, I think churches and mosques must be able, particularly where they have many people, there should be CCTV. Then they should engage more security officials too. So on certain occasions, I remember when there was bomb blast in Lagos. If you want to enter Ikeja Central Mosque, there is this metal detector that will place on your body before you can enter the mosque. That's one. But you see, Nigerians, we are talking that in the next 1 month we will forget it. But the churches and the mosques should do that to protect life and property.
And Saki, other event centers, markets.
Yeah. You see, it's a wake-up call for us southwest here. As a result of what happened in Owo yesterday, attacks on churches and mosques are not strange to the north. We have had a series of such attacks, but because we have not experienced it down south here, that's why what happened in Owo yesterday looks like something strange to us. So I think by now, the operators of churches and mosques in this area will now know the need, we appreciate the need to provide greater security. I know that there is some measure of security.
We have relaxed.
We have relaxed. But I think with what happened in Owo yesterday, I think churches and mosques southwest here will be able to be more alive to their security responsibility.
Yes, because security is everybody's business. And what we experienced yesterday in Owo should be of great concern to any right-thinking individual. We pray for the families of those who lost their lives in that tragedy. We also pray that our nation does not experience that tragic event again. We have come to the end of today's edition of this program, the Newsroom. We miss our barrister today. Don't know why. Wherever it might be, we recognize you. Just note that so that you don't look and see we didn't even mention you at all. So let me thank Mr. Lagola for being part of the program.
It's always great to be here Monday afternoon.
Thank you very much, Jordan. Thank you, viewers.
In the Newsroom, we'll be back tomorrow. My name is Abiodun Lalele. We'll see you some other time. Bye-bye.
Mondays to Fridays, 3:30 to 4:30 p.m. In the Newsroom, you can't afford to miss it.